Beautiful day, unlimited sparkle. Today I have a special guest here and we're going to be talking about health and how you can improve your health in 3 steps drastically, in just 3 simple steps. And so this is Chris Kendall. He's got a YouTube channel called Raw Advantage. He's been a raw chef for 14 years.
Yeah, I've been into raw food for over 14 years and chefing for all that time.
Wow, and he's been a registered holistic consultant for food and health and well-being. And today I'm going to ask him about these 3 questions without some... By the way, don't panic. We don't want you to become raw right now, because I would be panicking.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really raw, but I've been vegan for 17 years myself. And Chris has been such a big advantage, big inspiration in my life. So that's why I feel really privileged to have him here in Costa Rica to make this interview for you guys. So Chris, tell us, what are some 3 simple ways that we can do to improve our health drastically?
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here and for inviting me here. Super fun to share.
Perfect.
3 ways, I mean, I'll share the 3 ways that are food related that I actually changed like 18 years ago, and since then I've only had 2 sick days in 18 years. So these are really effective tips that anyone can apply, and they're not like you have to do them. This isn't a rule book. These are just things to bring more into your life because it's what you do the most consistently that has the most impact. So number 1, start your day off with a big meal of fruit. First meal of the day when you're hungry. That doesn't necessarily mean right when you wake up. That might mean you have some water, do some walking, empty your stomach out, feel ready, not empty out this way, just let it go down, right? And then have a big meal of fruit. Your favorite fruit, the kind of fruit you love the most. Full meal. A full meal means enough pieces that you feel totally satiated, not like 1 or 2 pieces of fruit, but like a full meal, somewhere maybe between at least maybe 400 to 700 calories. So
isn't it too much sugar to start your day with though, like just eating fruit?
It's a great question, and a lot of people are afraid of fruit sugar, but the truth is that fruit interacts in your body a lot differently than from like processed sugar or high fructose corn syrup or the things that people put on breakfast cereals and all that kind of stuff. Fruit comes loaded with fiber and with water that regulates and slows down the absorption of the sugars. And in fact, the best success I've seen people have reversing type 2 diabetes is on a low-fat fruit-based diet or low-fat carbohydrate-based diet. Fruit, sugar, nothing to worry about. Just want to keep the fat separate from fruit meals typically, and chew well, be hungry when you eat, not just out of boredom or anything like that.
So just for breakfast, I can do that. Perfect.
Yeah, simple, right? Big smoothie, maybe a green smoothie, maybe a fruit salad, maybe just find the best mangoes ever and just go for it, Perfect, right?
Great. So what would you recommend as a second step?
Number 2, learn about food combining. Now, if you haven't ever heard of food combining.
Food combining?
Yeah, have you heard of food combining? Yeah.
You combining food with food?
Yeah, you're just combining food in such a way that it optimizes digestion. Because, you've heard before, everyone's heard you are what you eat, but really you are what you absorb, right?
Right.
And so what that means is you can have something that like is the most nutritious food in the world and something else that's super nutritious, but if chemistry-wise, if it doesn't digest well, you're going to be using a lot more energy, a lot more blood flow, a lot more time to get less from it. So it's just wasted time and energy, right? So food combining just matches different foods based on their chemical nature and their water content so that they streamline digestion so you can get the most for the least effort.
Right.
There's a lot of food combining charts out there. In fact, if you have an iPhone, I have a free iPhone app, the Raw Advantage, Raw Recipes, and it has a food combining chart on there with a bunch of recipes too that are all perfectly food combined. So
okay, great. Do you want to give us like just one example? What does it mean to food combine something?
Absolutely. So, I mean, with fruit, it's a little bit different, but we'll say with fruit first. Let's say you have the category melons, acid fruit, subacid fruit, which would be like mangoes and peaches, pears, apricots, anything with a pit, and then sweet fruit like bananas and dates. You can mix any of those with the same group or the group beside it, but you don't necessarily want to jump over full groups. So like bananas and oranges, for example, don't really digest super well together.
Oh, wow.
Or like bananas and watermelon, they don't really digest well together, but watermelon and orange juice is great.
Well, that makes sense because I wouldn't really put banana and what was the combination? The watermelon and banana in my smoothie.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's like it's the simplest way to look at it is you're gonna mix with fruit the foods that are the most similar in water content. So if something's really watery, it's going to mix better with something that's also pretty watery because they digest at the same speed.
That's a good guideline.
You know, that's a good one. And another one is like predominant flavor. So if something's really sweet, it doesn't digest as well with things that are really acid, really, really tart.
Okay.
And when we're going to cook food, it gets a little bit more complex. But again, there's lots of literature. It's something that you can use as a tool, not a rule. And the more you utilize it, the stronger your digestion gets and the more you get out of your food. So really helpful.
Wow. Yeah, it's really something that really can this one thing can drastically change.
Absolutely. It's
so
crazy.
Great. So what is the third tip?
Number 3, move towards or go plant-based. So educate yourself, you know, watch videos like Earthlings, Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy, you know, read books, you know, Diet for New America is an old one, but it's a great book.
Watch your videos. He's got an amazing channel full of recipes and tips, and
you can learn a lot at the rawadvantage.com. I'm all over social media with that, Rawadvantage everywhere, and I really just try and make it as simple and easy and straightforward as possible with key information, tips, and recipes to make, you know, living a plant-based or all raw lifestyle, whatever you want, easier and better, you know. So it just comes down to finding 5 plant-based recipes you love. Most people rotate 5 recipes all the time. So if you find 5 that you just love and you enjoy a ton, you're gonna be eating a lot less of the other stuff, and it becomes its own motivation, because when you start eating more plant-based, you just have so much more energy, you feel more light, you feel more positive, productive, and then the other stuff, you start to notice the contrast. You feel heavy and more tired, and it starts just wanting to be phased out of your life because you just get so much more out of life, you know. It's an awesome thing.
Perfect. Well, you're a living example of the health, and you're really walking your talk. So thank you so much for
absolute pleasure
sharing these tips with us. And how far are you willing to go to live unbound with your food and being healthy?
Give her a go.
Go all the way.
A lamb is not silent when you slit his throat.